Hello, everyone. How are we? Are we pinned? Is it all working?
Yes, we're pinned.
Fantastic.
You can see on this one.
Oh, thank you so much. Good morning, Eureka. Thank you for hosting another Fibre Love Affair. We love them.
Yes.
You love them. So my name is Paula Lidner. I'm the owner of Baaad Yarn Store. I'm here with Rebecca Glazier, who has many hats in the yarny community here, including being our in-house teacher here at Baaad, which is the most important thing, I think. But I think she feels like there might be other things in her life that are just as important, like yarn dyeing.
Yarn dyeing, but I feel like they're nearly equal.
Yeah.
I love teaching a lot. So
she does a yarn dye line called Wild West Dye. I'm constantly getting this mixed up with Westwood Organics, which is where our other mini store is. And I've actually done a giant poster of theirs that said Wild West Organics. And she's like, I don't know what this is. But this company is the Wild West Dyes, which you might get a good glimpse of because
I'll just show off my feet.
She's got amazing boots. She's always got like earrings with like little cowboy boots.
Yeah, probably earrings.
Check out this gorgeous top that took Rebecca about a day and a half to make.
It was 3 days.
Which is amazing. And yeah, she's going to be one of the we have actually in our yarn tasting, we have some Wild West dye for you to try out. So our yarn tasting, she also hosts a community get together free of charge. Anyone can join in, get together. We'll put a link in. It's called Knit One Tea One, and it's open online on Zoom. It used to be an in-person get-together, but now it's hosted on Zoom. So yeah, many hats for Rebecca here. And let me tell you a little bit about the yarn tasting that we're going to do today. So we put together little mini kits. In the past, we used to do this as an in-person event around a table. We sometimes would have a brunch together or a little dessert dinner option, and it would be a full evening. And you get a little tasting of yarns of 4 to 6 little minis, 10-gram minis that you could then put on your needles. And throughout the night, every about 20 minutes or so, we put new yarn on the needles and then talk about it and show samples, talk about the pros and cons of using that kind of yarn, what the benefits are, how you'd match it to a garment. So as Zoom has progressed, as our life on Zoom has progressed because of the pandemic, we have been doing these online. So this is our 3rd one, and I've done all 3 with Rebecca, which has been my huge pleasure because it's been so lovely. And this time we're looking at our spring lineup, some of our new spring yarns here at Baaad Yarn Store. You might have bought a kit. We sold the kits of the minis and little treats that you could take home and then join along with us. Or we could, if you don't have a kit, it's not a problem. We'll just talk about the different yarns. This is our setup today. I'm going to just pop on my other phone, which I think says Paula's iPhone. Let me see if I can do this. This is our low tech abilities.
Yeah, I can
here
see
it is
on the screen.
And this is, if I could, nope, this is my low tech. Here we go. This is our yarn tasting lineup for today. So if you do have a kit, you're going to have one that looks like this with a little bit of marling. This one is a periwinkle. That's going to be the first yarn we talk about, the periwinkle sheep. Then we are going to look at the Wild West of Rebecca's Wild West dye. This isn't the same base as you have. In your kit, we're going to be talking about cool silk. Ooh, that's the colorway.
This is the color.
And what's the silk?
So it's 75% merino, 15 cashmere, and 10% silk fingering weight.
Gorgeous. Cashmere and silk, you can't go wrong with that. Then we're going to look at 2 cottons from Estelle Yarns, which is a Canadian yarn distributor. They're a family company that have been in business for about 45 years. So we'll talk about them a little bit. And they've just gotten into the expanding their own lines with Scott's certification, which is amazing. And lastly, the Essence of Autumn will be our 4th/5th yarn. And we actually, in your kit, we included her sparkle base, which is called Gilded Merino. So that will be the lineup for our yarn tasting. And we'll go back to my other video and we can start the yarn tasting. Hello, welcome back. So first up on our yarn tasting is periwinkle sheep. So the one we're looking at is the Highland wool fingering. And Rebecca is actually putting on her needles this nice, beautiful, almost periwinkle color. In your kits, if you bought a kit, you'll get this color. It's beautiful spring colorway as well. Now, her yarns, this is a dyer from the States, and we have some of her regular acid dyed on beautiful merino, but this one is on Peruvian Highland wool, which is a little less processed. So it's a more of a slightly rustic yarn, but it's on the soft end of the rustic.
Yeah.
And it's dyed in a batch. It's actually pre-wound with a little bit of black, and it's not black all the way through. So it has little sections of black and sections of white, sections of black. So it does actually end up giving you some pooling possibly with the marl. I'll show you because I did knit a little sweater with it, which has been so gorgeous. And that's what
I've seen this sweater.
Yeah, it's tiny. I was able to do it really quickly because it's a 0 to 3 size. So if you put this on your needles, like Rebecca has, if you bought a kit, I also sent out an email. If I had your email, I sent out the recommendation for Tin Can Knit Swatch-tastic pattern, because that's a great way to do little swatches, and you actually end up doing little buntings as part of this the pattern, and you end up with a bunting, which we'll talk about a little more as well later on. But if you want to put that on your needles, try it out. Let me know. Part of the yarn tasting is also interacting with anyone who has these kits and is knitting along. Type out a little question or your thoughts on the yarns as we go along, and Rebecca will help us figure out what people think of them. So this one I loved using. I love the little bit of the black marling along the way, depending on how big your knit is or where it falls in terms of the repeats. You might get pooling, you might not. And her colorways are amazing. I will again, I'm going to roam. You don't have to pin me if you want, but I'll roam to show you in the store what it looks like. Let's see if I can get my video going. And then I'll show you the sample that we've knit with it. So if you have it on your needles, let me know. And I can, let me just see if I can get this going. Then I can talk about what you think. I'd love your interactions in terms of what you think. And it's like, Rebecca, how are you finding it?
It's lovely. Someone was just asking me what needle size I tried, because there isn't a needle size recommendation on the actual whatever it's called.
There is a needle size.
Did you put one on there as well? Let's have a look. So I just tried out a 3.5mm US 4 to start with, and that's feeling actually really quite nice. Depends on your personal gauge. I knit like a little bit tight. I have a kit I'm using 4mm. Cool. It'd be nice to see what that looks like. And maybe you'll end up with a slightly drapier fabric. I love how we can play with how our fabric is created with the needle size, having a smaller needle to make a denser fabric, of course, and a larger needle for a drapier fabric, depending what you're doing.
And if you're able to find, yeah, if you're able to find my video on one of the other participants under Paula's iPhone, I think, or Paula at Baaad, or maybe it's just Paula's. I do have the whole lineup of colors showing. So you can see our colors. Let me just grab some of them.
I love the green. The green's amazing.
And for anyone that couldn't see it, I'm just going to grab the whole lineup here. Here we go. Which way? Check this out. This is our lineup of colors. Is that not gorgeous? Our rose gold is sold out. That was you and one other customer. Well, actually, one of our previous staff took all the rose gold together. Look how pretty those are. So this is the periwinkle. We love it. It's pretty soft, eh?
Yeah, those who know me know I'm a superwash lover, and it is really lovely and soft for a non-superwash for sure.
And here is what it looks like. This is a tiny, tiny little sweater. It is the 0 to 6 month size. As you see, it pulls differently in different sections depending on what the repeat of the pattern is. But it was so lovely to knit. And this one is an easy free pattern, the Tin Can Knits Flax Light.
No.
What do you think?
I think, what size needle did you use for this?
The recommended, which I think was in the, I think one was like one was 5 and one was, no, 6 and 4.
6 and 4, so
I
like your
think.
3.5 and your 4mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
And
It's lovely.
I'm a looser knitter, so it's sort of
Yes.
loose on the relaxed side, but I love this yarn. And the other amazing thing about it, if you hold that for a sec, is the price. For 100 grams, you're looking at $21.95. And for a yarn that comes from the US, that we then have to do US exchange and duties and shipping and all that on, this is an amazing price point for that. And Rebecca was saying, as a dyer, how do you do that? It's probably that these are, I mean, you get some tonals in there, but there's not a lot of, if you think about yarns, it's all the different processing. The more processing you put into it, the higher the price is going to be. So the processing of superwash, of how the yarn is formed, the processing on the type of dyeing, the type of spinning it has, and also the base material. If it's a sheep specific, the processing of making sheep specific yarn is much more expensive. Peruvian wool is a little more common, so it's the base is less expensive. So that's how she keeps the price down. Plus, probably these are just batch dyed as a dip with some, rather than actually painting or specific hand dye. It is hand dyed, but it's probably batch dyed in larger batches, which is amazing. And we then that shows reflects in the price. So has anyone else got them on the needles? Let me know how you're feeling about it and what you think of how you feel it's going.
We've got some questions asking how much yarn did this little sweater take? One green?
This is the leftovers. I would say almost like, I would say probably about like just over half a skein. So I feel like you could probably get up to the 2-year-old size with one skein. It's about 400 yards. So let me give you the specs on this. Part of the yarn tasting is you also got a little pamphlet that you could, it has some holes. You can clip a little bit of the yarn, put it on your pamphlet. It's a little yarn tasting pamphlet. I made the mistake of not actually keeping one of the kits for myself to be able to show you, but you put it on there and then you can write your specs. So the specs for this yarn is that at 100 grams, it's 435 yards, which is 395 meters. It's 100% Peruvian Highland wool, and it's a 2-fly fingering, which is a number 1 size needle. All that, you can also find that on our baadannas.store, in our e-store, the baadannas.store. If you look under the yarn, we always keep the yarn specs on there as well. Let me see what else there is. Let's talk about superwash versus non-superwash, because that actually is one of the things I mentioned as price point difference. And Rebecca uses both. Do you use both?
No, I just use superwash.
Superwash, okay.
Yes,
So,
I am a bit of a superwash.
So tell us about why you choose superwash, because this one is not superwashed. You absolutely will have to hand wash it, or else it will shrink or felt.
Yeah, so there's a few reasons why I love superwash. One is because it is so ridiculously soft, and I really love wearing tops and accessories next to my skin, and I think my skin's a little bit sensitive, and I want it to feel luxurious. I also love how the colours are absorbed into superwash. You'll notice that generally you'll see much brighter and vibrant colours on superwash yarn compared to non-superwash. And there are quite a few dyers that actually dye the same colourways on superwash and non-superwash and show pictures. So it's really interesting to be able to see how the colours take.
This is a non-superwash. This is actually an eco, completely organic non-superwash yarn, and you can see sort of it's just mellower than some of the colors you see on superwash.
Absolutely. And even though I still hand wash all my superwash garments that I've hand knitted, because I just think the garment is going to last longer and it's going to look more beautiful for longer. So it's not as if I want to machine wash my hand knits. That's not the reason why I do it. So yeah.
So a little bit about the superwash process. It is a chemical process that takes off sort of the barbs along the way. So your yarn, when it's washed, when it's put in hot water or agitated, won't felt, right? Because a lot of, like, just like our hairs, we have little barbs on our hairs that will help it felt and solidify. So it's stripped, chemically stripped, to make it that if you accidentally put it in the washing machine, it won't shrink, it won't felt. There is an ecological aspect to it as well, that there's an eco wash that can be done. It can be done chemically by finding enzymes that eat the barbs as well. So there's different ways that you could get a superwashed garment, or otherwise called an eco wash garment. But it's absolutely right that even with the eco wash, the the environmentally friendly eco wash, you're never going to get the same bright colors as you do on a yarn in the end, on a hand dyed yarn. And you have that process. You also have the dyeing process. So you can use acid dyes or not acid dyes, and acid dyes also give us a sharper color. So Rebecca chooses to use superwash yarn by using ecological colorways. So there's all these are all questions that you look at when you look at your yarn, and it also impacts the price of your yarn. So a superwash process will actually bring up the cost of your yarn as well. All interesting facts.
And then we have a comment from I love the feel of superwash, but still hand wash them too. Yeah,
Me too, absolutely.
Right?
Anything that I put my effort into making, I absolutely hand wash.
And it doesn't take that long.
Yeah. And laying flat to dry. I've never put anything in the dryer.
No, only my hand knit socks.
And on purpose, I should say.
Like I throw my hand knit socks in the dryer.
I heard a lot of people do that. I can't do that either.
They're totally fine.
Yeah.
And then maybe they start getting a little bit pale, but I'm just wearing them on my feet.
So. That's awesome. That's awesome. So anyone put it on their needles? Anyone have comments about this yarn? Because we love it. It's really soft. It's quite nice, very affordable. And then we also have some of her other her regular merino yarns that are bright. We brought her in specifically because she does this gorgeous fluorescent line in her merinos. Yeah, you can tell because it's the main fluorescent ones in the whole shop.
See, this is something I can't do with natural dyes. Is something
you can't even see it because it's so glowing. It doesn't actually glow like this in real life, but so Rebecca's showing it on her camera. But isn't it crazy? So this is Periwinkle. She's a new dyer in the shop, probably about it snuck in about a month and a half or 2 months ago. But I really wanted to showcase this one specifically first and foremost because of its affordableness and also because it's so unique. It's such a unique look to this yarn.
Yeah, is that because a lot of people call it zebra yarn as well, with the black sort of twist going through it, which I think is also a really fun name.
Yeah, and I think what I wasn't expecting, wasn't so clear on, was that there were sections that it was white on white marled, so it will give you the beautiful color pots as well as the black marled pots. It's not marled all the way throughout, which is lovely. Okay, so that's our, let's see what else we have to talk about. Virtual yarn store. I just wanted to let you know that everything that we talk about is available on our online store, baadanas.com. I've been really pushing the hashtag virtual yarn store. We do tours and we do these talks because not everyone's able to make it to a yarn store through the time of COVID, and even before and after, just in terms of personal preference of shopping and ability and accessibility. So we've really been pushing a virtual yarn store, that this is an interactive experience. We've been doing it on Instagram stories, as well as through these Fibre shows. We do a lot of community work. Do keep an eye on us. If there's anything you need to know about our online store, we'd be happy to show you. So we actually have 2 accounts. baadanas.com is our community building. That's where you can find information about our classes, about our community, how to get fiber arts into your community, about our sales, and our blog is posted on there. That's the main site. And then we have baadanas.store, which is our e-store. And you can find all the yarns we're talking about in our e-store. Okay, let's talk about our next yarn, which is Rebecca's. So, and this is a new base for you, isn't it?
It's been available as a kit for quite a while, but now it's available to purchase in the Cape Porter system. So you can buy what you need for making tops. That's actually the colorway in the kit's not available in Baadanas store yet, but I believe it will be very soon.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be bringing them in.
I know.
That's all right.
Make it this week.
That's all right. So the cool thing about Rebecca's yarns, I'm going to put this out there before you start on your yarn tasting bit, is that they're available in 100 grams, 50 grams, or 25 grams. So you can mix and match what you need, as well as she's solely natural dye, or she uses natural dyes.
Yes.
So solely use of natural dyes. On to you.
Oh, absolutely. So
it looks like this in your kit. Sorry.
Yeah, and then this is the yarn I've used to make this top here. This is one of the new colorways that's out. And one thing I love about this yarn is, again, you can knit it from a 3.5 millimeter to 4.5, which is like your 4 to 7. So so you can choose whatever size you want. On the US 7, you get like a much drapier fabric, so it's great for a shawl. And then on the US 4, which is what I've done in this one, you get obviously a much denser fabric, and that's, you know, so however you want to play with the yarn, it knits up really nicely. So I love playing with gauge and yarn and just being able to get so many sort of different things from the same yarn base.
And this yarn that will be in your kit that we're talking about, it's cashmere, silk, and merino, and it is a single ply. So tell us about how you use a single ply, because you can't use it on everything that you use fingering.
No, and I love single ply. I don't really know why I love it so much. I do. And one thing, because I've obviously made a top in it, and sometimes the single ply, it's not as hardy as a plied yarn, but because this has silk in it, it makes it a stronger yarn. So it means you can use it for some like tops and obviously all your accessories as well. But obviously you wouldn't want to make socks with it because it's just not going to be strong enough, right? So you have to be mindful of that.
I often say the rule of thumb, the softer a yarn is, the more it's going to pill. But there's pros and cons to it. It's like, as long as you can accept that, which is hard to accept as a knitter, that once you knit something that it might fly. But if you think about it, is where do you have less friction on things? So when you wear a sweater, you're going to get friction under the shoulders, or if you wear a purse along the purse strap, and on its socks, it's wherever it rubs in your shoe, on your heels, toes, and also in the whole shoe. So that's where things are going to pill. That's where they're going to rub. That's where they're going to felt. When it's single ply, you're gonna felt that away. So if you're using cashmere, anything soft like that, you're gonna have this fluffing. But if you think about it, if you make a shawl out of it,
yeah,
you're good. You're good to go. And the closer to skin, the benefit of it is it's gonna be super lovely, soft next to skin. You don't have huge friction points around if you wear it the way you wear a shawl. Even hats are often great for that, except it will be much more droopy. So just know your pattern, that if you're making a slouchy hat, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just good to know.
A single ply, actually. Maybe that'd be interesting.
It would be super soft, right?
Yeah, totally.
And it doesn't have that same friction. It won't get so. And then the flip side is just learn to love your fuzzy yarn. Like even if it's plywood, it just has a handmade woolly look if it's a little bit. So I still make sweaters with it. I love my merino cashmere nylon sweaters because they slowly will peel away, but I'm okay because they feel like wearing just another layer of skin, which is lovely.
Totally. And Cheryl was saying here, singles are good for lace patterns. Yarn overs open up really nicely. Yeah. So yeah, and that's, I've got like the yarn overs here in this pattern, and this is like a ribbed yarn over. And then this has been like, it's 8 months old, something like that, and you can just see an overall fuzz to it, and that's totally fine. Like the cashmere in there, which will give you a bit of a fuzz as well.
So often with knitting, it's just knowing what you like, just being able to anticipate how your end garment is going to be used and come out, and matching that with your expectations. So if you're expecting a nice firm, sweater that's clean and crisp and stuff like that, you go to something that has more ply or has like more merino or more tougher fibers. Whereas if you're okay with it going fuzzy and just being soft, then you choose something like cashmere or something soft or something less plied, a very loose ply as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just knowing what to expect when you're knitting, and I love it. So Rebecca's, this is a different base, but just to show you, even though she uses purely natural dyes, it doesn't mean that you're going to be losing some beautiful depth in her colors. So these are a sample of her colors in her natural dye line. But show us the last scarf you had.
This one?
Yeah, look at the speckles in this as well.
Because you got me onto speckles, Paula, and now I've gone speckle crazy.
She used to only do solids, but she has expanded her repertoire, and on her website you can find some amazing colorways as well. And we keep kits. We usually keep one of her lines in full, and then some kits in our Baaad Anna's store. But we love the Wild West dyes. Really gorgeous stuff, and this stuff has some beautiful texture. Has anyone put it on their needles and tried it out? Has anyone have any feedback for us about this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn? And for spring, silk is amazing, and lightness, having something lacy and light. The silk will keep it cool, even though there's cashmere will sort of even it out. So it's a good mid-season type of thing. What is super soft and lovely to work with, says Britt.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful, so soft. All things we expected. It's beautiful stuff.
It's so crazy soft. Because I hadn't knit with it for like months, and I was like working with it again. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot how crazy soft it was myself.
Yeah. So Rebecca also teaches our classes. So this is a good place to plug some of your classes.
Oh yeah. We seem to be a lot of hat crazy. I do love teaching hats for classes because it is a project that you can complete within the 4 weeks. Sometimes I'll do scarves and other things.
So Rebecca teaches our beginner knitters, first of all, which is over 4 weeks. So you get through projects from beginning to end. But most of you probably on here today are past the beginner knitting stage. But if you're not, she's an amazing teacher. She also does these kind of multiple week classes for projects from beginning to end. So she'll do this hat, and by 4 weeks, you'll be finished a hat. And that's probably a good reason to work on hat projects, right?
Yeah, totally.
And I can't tell you how amazing this soft this is. I keep feeling like it has cashmere in it.
And it's just pure merino, but it's 17 microns. And cashmere is 19 microns and below. So it's like within that sort of cashmere softness bracket. Yeah, and it's,
So are you doing this hat?
Yeah, this is we run it twice this month, so it's been really fun, and I've started to see people's trees coming out to life. And then we've also got it up for
this is the Alaska hat, which is amazing. I don't know if you can see it, maybe get a little closer, because it has a gorgeous vista in within the knit. And if you use a yarn, like a lot of people use gradients to show sort of like sunsets or sunrises, or just like this fiery gorgeous, then you use two contrasting yarns so you can see these trees. How gorgeous is that? And what are you teaching in this class? So other than getting a beautiful hat.
Beautiful hat. I'll encourage you to try two-handed color work. It's not essential, but it is really fun thing to do, and you feel a bit like a knitting super person when you knit two-handed. And as well as like learning how to catch and weave in floats without your yarns getting tangled, because that's very frustrating when you're doing color work and you have to spend so much time untangling yarn. I'm also going to teach you how to do the ladder back jacquard technique. Which is
what?
So this is called ladder back jacquard. It's like a form of double knitting, essentially. It's pretty cool, and I've been really pleased with all my students because they've all picked up this technique really easily. Yeah, so it's been fabulous.
In fact, I need to do this class.
I keep telling you, you need to come and take some colourwork classes with me.
So the great thing about knitting, it's lifelong learning. So there's a lot of things in knitting I've never done, even though I'm a lifelong knitter.
Yeah.
For example, the two-handed colorwork is something I really want to do, and I know it's going to take some training, and I think that's why I'm hesitant. I'm like, I just want dumb knits right now, something that I don't have to think, don't have to worry about, but it's something I love learning as well. Love lifetime learning.
And what I always encourage, like the first week of the class, is for people to go away and practice knitting with their non-dominant hand, with the yarn coming from the non-dominant hand, and just basically knit a garter square. Yeah. So that's what you can do as like your first step.
Yeah.
So you don't just dive into knitting colorwork with two hands. You practice with your non-dominant hand.
And what do we tell every person that walks in, or any person that talks about, oh, knitting's hard, is it's just practice.
Yeah, it's only,
you just have to put the time in, and
absolutely.
I need to put the time in.
And it's
so
not
as
hard,
you see, I can do color work, but it is a pain when you're doing single and your yarns are getting tangled and stuff like that. So I just need to clean up that technique, and I know there's ways to clean it up.
Absolutely. And you can also, you know, even if you're knitting with the colorwork from one hand, because some people, that's what they want to do, and they choose to do that in the classes, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'll show you the system of how to not have your yarns tangling, even if they're coming from the same side. Right?
Cool.
So, win-win.
Tell us more.
Next hat, I love teaching brioche. I feel like brioche is just the best. It's spicy, but it's so much fun.
What is brioche?
Brioche is a form of double knitted fabric, because you knit half a row of like one side of the fabric, and then you work across the same side and knit like the other stitches for like the other half. I don't know if that sounds more confusing. Sometimes things are like,
it looks like this is what it means.
it looks like this. And this is 2-color brioche in the round, which is still spicy, but actually less spicy than flat brioche, 2-color brioche. And then we have reversible cables. And reversible cables are super cool. And then I saw reversible cables with brioche, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just want to teach this class. And I think we just have one spot left. This is starting in a couple of weeks. So if you fancy taking the challenge and come and join the class, then you can sign up for this.
So believe it or not, out of all the other things I've never tried, and brioche is another thing I've never tried in my life.
Brioche.
You're hitting all my,
it's like squash heaven. And the nice thing about this one, it's in DK. So fingering brioche takes like, it takes a longer time to create things because you're working a row twice, but in DK it's quicker. And
what I've heard from people is that it's a little finicky to learn, but once you get it, you got it, right? Yeah. And the world's your oyster. So It's just, again, training your brain to do something new.
Totally.
Which is always healthy. I used to work at the Alzheimer's Society. That's the main thing, is training your brain to do new things all the time. So yay for knitting and all its possibilities.
And then the last hat that we have,
knitting. Oh wait, crochet.
But crochet too. Yay for yarn. We have another crochet hat class. I think I particularly love this crochet because it looks a lot like knitting. I do love knitting a lot. So this is a 2-weekend workshop in May. So if you fancy coming to do some crochet, trying something new, then you can do this hat with me.
Just checking if we have any comments.
I know, I feel like we have some comments coming through. So
love that hat. This is so cool.
Which one? I'm like, which one? They're all so cool, eh? This one I wear all the time. Look at this. This is one of Yarn Bowler's poms, which are in stock here, aren't they? And I love these poms. I love a pom-pom on a crochet hat. It's just like amazing. Anyway.
So I have a question about naming the yarns that we've gone through. So far we've done 2. One is the periwinkle sheep, and the yarn itself is called Highland Wool Fingering. I will also be putting all this information on our website. We will do a blog post when Yuriko gets it as a link, the video link to the Fibre Love Affair. We'll link the video, and we'll also let you know all the details about each one of these yarns specifically. So the first yarn was Periwinkle Sheep, Highland Wool Fingering. The second so far was Wild West. Do you have a name for that base?
I just call my bases like they are what they are. So it's naturally dyed soft singles fingering.
Soft singles fingering. And that one has the Marine Cashmere Silk. And the brand name is Wild West Dye. So those are the 2 we've done so far. We're going to move on to the third. The third is actually third and fourth, is our cottons. And this one, I have to admit, I haven't actually knit. These have come in the last month or two. And they are, one of these is really just a brand new yarn altogether. So you're looking at your Eco Cotton, Estelle Eco Cotton DK, and the Estelle Eco Paint DK. The reason I'm going to look at them together is that Estelle is one of the larger distributors of a yarn in Canada, but it is a family company. It's a Canadian family company. So they're responsible for like helping yarn stores carry things that many of us know about already, like the Cascade yarns and Manos. Some people know Manos. We have a lot of other yarn bases that they collectively carry, but they also have their own yarns as well, the Estelle brand, and they have been growing this over the last little bit. They have gotten recently interested in the GOTS certification process and talking about GOTS certification. So there's organic, and then there's this is almost like organic. The next level organic is that GOTS certification is not only talking about the wool, but it's also how it's produced, what's impact on the environment, its human impact, how people are paid, and like how it's manufactured. And it's a 17-point system, which I'm going to do a whole blog post about because it's too difficult to try to describe here. But it really is about like how, how the farmers are paid, how the land is treated, how the dyeing process is done. So we have GOTS certification on, you can have it on wool, You can have it on cotton. You can't have it on silk because I think of the treatment of silkworms, even though there's different variety, like different aspects of how silk is treated. But so far the GOTS certification have been that. And the 17 points certification system is done as a yearly annual. You have to get like recertified annually. You're looked at, like every fit is looked at, even how Estelle, even though they're like, for example, some of this yarn is manufactured in Turkey, they'll look at the manufacturing and the farming process in Turkey, then they'll look at the dyeing process. They'll even look at the shipping process, make sure that Estelle, who's based out of Toronto, is shipping out of boxes that were recycled, upcycled by boxes.
End to end.
Completely end to end as to what it's called. So we have EcoCon DK. We every spring we bring in a bunch of different cottons, and then we usually sell them out by the autumn, because cottons aren't terribly a go-to during our busy knitting season of fall and winter. But we love our cottons. This cotton, a DK tends to be what a lot of people, when they go to cotton, it's the go-to weight.
Yeah, totally.
And this one is amazing. It's like $5.95 for a 50-gram ball, which is unheard of. It just came out. We have so many different colors of this yarn. I'll give a tour in a little bit. And the cool thing about cotton, so why you choose to knit with cotton versus wool, is that they're a cool weather material. So they don't hold heat like wool does. So you make your spring and late summer or early fall knits with it. It is a little harder on the hands because it doesn't have the give, the bounce that wool has. So a lot of people tend to shy away from knitting with cotton, which I have for my years of my life, until this is my second piece. This is a cotton silk from last year. So I knit it last year and I wore it for the first time this year.
Amazing.
I'm just showing you this because knitting this has 100% increased the number of cotton garments I have.
From 0 to 1.
From 1 to 2.
Oh, from 1 to 2. Okay.
So I have increased my options of wearing, and I can wear this all summer long, even when it's hot and swampy out. It's fine because it's airy. Both the knit is airy, but also the yarn. Both silk and cotton don't hold heat. They are natural fibers, so they whisk away moisture. You don't feel that swampiness that you'd feel with acrylics. And this designer, Danido, I have to DOHD DANDOH, I think, or opposite DOHDAN. One of those two is amazing. She works mostly in cottons. This one was knit from side to side. She uses some gorgeous design features, very simple, but very gorgeous design features to make really unique knits. So knit your cotton. So I'm going to try to do one cotton top every summer or every once a year, just so I can increase the number of beautiful hand knits I can wear throughout the year. How do you spell it?
I think
DANDOH. DANDOH, and we will add a link to her patterns. She has 2 or 3 new patterns recently I've seen. I think the Yarn Harlot is talking about putting one of hers on her needles right now, and gorgeous stuff. So yeah, have you knit with her? Have you knit some of her stuff? Because it is really pretty. Anyways, we'll keep talking about cottons and the cotton process. If you really want to just support really amazing yarn production, look into the GOTS certification. So the other GOTS certified yarn we have is this Eco Paint DK. And again, it's ecologically dyed, as well as it's on non-superwash wool. So you're going to get a little bit of more muted colors, but it's really nice. It's sort of bouncy, kind of the same as that Highland wool.
Yeah, right.
It has a bounce to it because of the non-superwashness of it. And you have to watch, the one thing about non-superwash is you wouldn't make baby knits. So that little sweater I made, I will be giving it with a very big, I'm sorry. You do have to hand wash them, absolutely, or else they're gonna shrink, but they're really pretty. Cotton you can wash, which is neat. So that's another option.
Great thing about it as well. And one thing I say, you know, say like cotton can be a bit hard when you're knitting it, and it can cause some hand fatigue. And I've knit with like cotton and linen and silk, like cellulose, quite a lot because I really love it for summer garments. And what I tend to do is I'm like love having multiple projects anyway. I do encourage that, but it is good to have like a wool project alongside with your cotton project, so you can swap between the two and give your hands a bit of a rest. Yeah,
that is such a cool idea. So another really amazing one for the summer is linen.
Yes.
And linen is really hard on the hands.
It's even harder
because it's like knitting rope, right?
Yes.
But the flip side is it gets softer and softer the more you wash it, and it's completely ecological. It grows like a weed. Like, it is hard to harvest, but it is amazingly quick. It's quick at regenerating, so it's a very ecological, great alternative. And I'm going to give you, Yuriko, can I ask you to put my phone, I'm going to put my video on my phone. I think it is time for a little bit of a tour of the shop so you can see. Hi. Okay, so we're going to go take a quick look at what there is around. I'm going to turn on my microphone. Could you turn the microphone off this one?
This one, I'm going to try, but it's yeah, mute, did it?
Okay, so here we go.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's just hearing it from here. So these are the periwinkle colorways, gorgeous. These are the periwinkle superwashed merino colorways, also gorgeous. I wanted to take you over here for the Estelle cotton so you can see all the different colorways. Check out, these are all the colorways of the GOT certified cotton. Amazing, eh? Oh, well, these are, they also have a merino wool. No, these are the cottons. 1, 2, oh, here, 3. I knew there was more. 3, 4. There's a lot of different colorways of the cotton at $5.95 for 50 grams. I don't think I went over the stats of this yarn. So it's 100% organic cotton, GOT certified. It is 50 grams at 125 meters, making it a DK. 4 millimeters, 22 stitches. So there you go. Those are the stats. If anyone's knitting with it, has anyone put it on their needles that has the yarn tasting tip? Please let us know what you feel about it. I had mentioned but it has really no grip, so it is hard to knit with on the hands. Man, those colors are gorgeous, and it has that shine like silk does. And that is also, it's not a GOT certified. This is BC Garn, which is another company that looks at ecological production of their yarn companies. That's 100% linen. And I also wanted to show you, while we just a little bit of a tour, I wanted to show you these Eco Pink colorways. They really are gorgeous. And we're a huge supporter of this family run Estelle Yarn Company from Toronto. And they've done a great job sourcing some beautiful yarns with really quality yarn farming and production. Okay, back to the other one.
Okay. I feel like there's something, there's feedback. I don't know if any.
Got it. I took it.
Oh, you took it. Fine.
Hello.
Awesome.
Did you enjoy the little tour? Oh, Yuriko, could you bring us back to, there we go. Hello.
And then we've had Nancy saying that the cotton feels lovely to knit with. And Chantal is knitting with the painted DK, and it's great. I love woolly wool, so.
Yeah, it is a very woolly wool. It's a little more rustic.
Yeah.
It actually feels a little less rustic than Briggs & Little. It has more of a woolly feel than a rustic feel.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
And the cotton is one of the neat things about cotton. Again, the more you wash it, the more you work with it, the softer it's going to become. So we actually, it is a go-to for a lot of baby knits for that reason.
And then we have Lisa asking, what's the cost of the Eco Pink DK?
Yes, your moments in front of me. I've lost my DK.
Did you take it? Is it here?
Yep. So we have the Eco Pink DK. Let me give you the stats on it. It is $17.95 for 100 grams. So if you're comparing the 50 gram, the 5.95, 50 grams, it's not that much different. It's $8 for 50 grams or $17.95 for 100 grams, which it is. It is 382 yards or 350 meters, a proper DK, 100% GOTS certified wool.
That's quite
Organic
that's a lot
wool.
for a DK actually, 350 meters.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent one.
Yeah.
And it is a DK weight 3. They're both actually DK weight 3s. They say recommended needle size about 4 millimeter. I think that's what we got for this. Let's talk about if you're interested in knowing a little more about our community. When I say that I'm going to put information about like GOTS certification or community stuff, this is all on our baadanas.com website. And on there, there's a place you can put it in your email address. And if you put that in, then you get our blog posts whenever we post them. So you'll get us you'll be the first to know about our sales, about our community ventures, about any new things that we're talking about, like GOTS certification, any recommendations, staff recommendations, or projects of the month, all the fun stuff. But you do have to put your email in there, and we're just gonna put. I haven't mentioned this, and it's not something I've been publicizing, but we are going to do a little bit of a prize. Man, my brain. Giveaway. Thank you. Giveaway. Right now, only for the people on here, so your chances are real good. And we haven't told anyone about this, so this is really exciting. And this is a hell of a good one. It's not just any old giveaway. We are giving away we just got a top up of our Pearl Smith stitch markers.
You want me to hold it?
You hold this and so Pearl Smith they do freshwater pearls on gorgeous silver or bronze. And she has this limited edition, this beautiful flat mother of pearl 6-pack that she sent to us special. That's interesting. Well, the price on it is like $16 versus $26, but there's still 6 stitch markers. I don't know if we got that wrong.
Maybe.
But if we got it wrong, it's your grab it while you can. Because we'll figure this out soon enough. But if you grab it quick. Anyways, the giveaway is going to be for one of these sets of the mother of pearl. And you have to do 2 things for me to be able to grab one of these. But again, you're the only ones that know about this. This isn't a widespread prize. I'd like you to go to the Pearl Smith on Instagram at Pearl Smith. There is a post that looks very similar to this that she announces, hey Canada, my stitch markers are available at Baadanas. Can you just write a little note to her to say hi? And secondly, please do sign up for a blog. If you're already signed up for a blog, that's totally fine. You're in as long as you put a little post on Pearl Smith's post. If you're not on our blog already, to be able to qualify.
I don't know if I can see. Oh dear.
I think people know how to.
I think people know, don't they? There's Pearl
There's
Smith.
Pearl Smith. And then about like 4 or 5 posts down, you'll see something like this. And we'd love to give it to one of our Fibre Love Affair viewers. On that note, we also got all of her new spring lines, including, where's my favorite? Check this one out. Netflix. Love it, love it, love it. And other spring ones like tulips. These ones are tulips. Oh no, those are Easter hearts.
I feel like this might be my favorite because it's a rainbow.
That's the Netflix.
Is that the Netflix saying? Oh, there we go. See, we're aligned.
Anyways, we just wanted to give a heads up. Pearl Smith is amazing. Her stitch markers are lovely. I always need extras because I do lose them, and I shed one small tear, and then I think of, oh, imagine that kid that finds this dangly silver mother of pearl stitch marker, knows no idea what it's actually used for, but how pretty it is. Oh my God, somebody's gonna love finding those in the grass. If you just walk behind me when I'm walking and knitting, I'm bound to lose. I've lost 2 or 3 of them already.
So someone's just wanted clarity on what they need to do on ID. So they've got to go to Pearl Smith.
Go to Pearl Smith. There's the post that says, We just brought these to Canada at Baaad Anna's. It looks just like the one you'd win. It looks like this mother of pearl, like the picture on the post is this. Just write anything. Just write anything on her post to say, yay, beautiful stitch markers, whatever you like, and you can win the prize. We do ask that you also have sign up to our Baaad Anna's blog, which is at baadannas.com. You just put in your email address. If you're receiving the blog already, you're already in. Those are the two sides. That's it. If you want to join Pearl Smith's Instagram, go for it as well. She has beautiful things. Really nice yarn candy. Okay. On that note, we have one more yarn to talk about. What's our timing?
We are 10:50. We have 10 minutes.
Perfect. One of our most favorite new additions to Baaad Anna's is the Essence of Autumn. So she is a dyer, and this is a beautiful little caricature of her. Dyer from Ontario, makes beautiful. She has a lot of autumn colors, but they're actually timeless colors. And the yarn we added to the yarn tasting was our Gilded Merino. So the Gilded Merino, 84% merino, 16% gold, Stellina. I never know how to pronounce that. So it gives you a very light, very just subtle little sparkles to it. And I think it might be in this colorway that I had put into the kit. And look at
this is colorway.
yeah. It is so pretty. I've just started getting into knitting with sparkles recently, and I can't stop. I mean, it became big about 3-4 years ago, and then it sort of faded. But man, it's gorgeous. And I want to show you this. This is one of our staff
so nice.
knit this up. This is a beautiful. What is this technique, Rebecca? It's a brioche shawl, and apparently it was quite an easy version of brioche. This is with the sparkle. So the colored one is, no, the gray is sparkled and in the gilded Shades of Autumn. So Shades of Autumn has some solid colors as well as some variegated or speckled dye, so it doesn't pool. Most modern hand dyers, they use a speckle system, so it doesn't pool. They're short repeats to keep away from the pooling. And so this used this colorway as well as this gray gilded, which was lovely. Her yarns are $32 to $36. I think the gilded one's $36 for 100 grams. And again, it's the yarn it's the base yarn, the addition to hand dyeing, really nice quality yarns to begin with. All that is where the price comes from. But look how gorgeous this work is. And
what's the name of the shawl again, Paula?
It is, and I will give this to Rebecca to add to our live. It's called the Budding Brioche. And it used 150 grams, so a skein and a half of the solid and 60 grams of the contrast colorway. It's right here. And let me just show you it in full, because it literally came off her needles. I came off her drying rack yesterday. Look how pretty this is. We're always so thrilled when we try to have a sample of every yarn as it comes, but we got the beautiful brioche, just little bits of brioche at the end and in the middle.
And I love the brioche shawls where it's partial.
Yeah.
It doesn't take quite as long to make.
Doesn't take long. She said, the person who knit this said it was a super fast knit for somebody who's done brioche before and really enjoyable. Like it was not too hard to remember as you go along. I'm going to move you and I'm going to show you something pretty cool. Some people wonder how you take these big triangle shawls, but I always just put them straight back, show the beautiful ends, make a little room so you're not strangling yourself. And then I take one at one side and we have these beautiful little upcycled belts made from Knox Mountain.
Yeah, Knox Mountain's beautiful stuff.
And they made these beautiful shawl cuffs. And you just add it to one side and the weight of it helps it not fumble around. Ta-da! Is that not just so gorgeous?
Great. And we got a comment from Patricia saying, I want to make everything.
Please.
Well, I love that. Please do.
Yeah.
It's the best, right?
Enable. We're happy to help.
Castle all the projects.
What else do we have? So we have our online store. Everything you can find to make any of these are in our online store at baadannas.store. Oh, upcoming. What is upcoming to our special events? Because we're wrapping up this yarn tasting. This will probably be our last yarn tasting before the fall. We'll probably start them up again in August or September, because we are going to be starting up our traveling woolery again, which is our outdoor market. We were hoping that we could go to like things like the folk festival and stuff like that with a big little trailer that's really cute and full of yarn. We specifically put in kits to help draw people into fiber arts and encourage people to make fiber arts accessible. So felting kits, beginner weaving kits, really easy little grab and goes. And then we also have 2 sides to the trailer. So the front facing is our intro, look at, join us in fiber arts. And our rear facing is usually really nice yarns that all the yarnies are able to find on their own. So we're gonna be at a couple community markets and different shows around town. We will, again, if you're on our website, if you're on our blog, we'll give a heads up wherever we are. If we're out in the community, we can go as far as Abbotsford, possibly Squamish, possibly different parts of the lower mainland, and we hope to see you there.
Nancy's saying hope to see you at Clayton Market.
Yeah, that's probably going to be one of our opening ones for sure.
And your trailer is gorgeous, which it totally is, Paula. It's so beautiful.
It also can be found, the information on the trailer can be found under the Instagram, all one word, The Traveling Woolery.
And then we have a comment from Kelly. How do you match up the comment on Pearl Smith with the blog sign up? Because there might not be
there isn't a matchup. You just have to go to baadannas.com, sign up on ours, and then go over to Instagram.
Yeah, and you'll do it on a
It's just two pronged go. You have to do 2 different things, but it's worth it because there's not going to be that many people that know about this contest.
Right.
And so your chances are really good. So it's worth putting the 5 minutes in to try.
No one is asking if I order, can I pick up from Kerrisdale? Because you have the outlet in Kerrisdale, right?
Yes. I just confirmed with the Kerrisdale store. We have a little pop-up in Kerrisdale called Westwood. I keep thinking Wild West. Westwood Organics. And we have a little pop-up of a couple shelves of cool kits. And I've just confirmed with her that we're going to be able to do pickups there as well. It's not fully up and running just yet, but soon we're going to have it in our shop. When you sign out and you have to like put in a shipping address or in-store pickup, there's going to be another option for pickup in Kerrisdale. So just wait for it, but we'll be able to do that soon. Good question.
Okay.
Anything else we missed?
From Kate is asking, what is the yarn behind you in the top 2 rows?
Yes. I'm going to just take this with me because actually these ones here are the Essence of Autumn here. The top row of it is the gilded, the one that's in the yarn kits, the gilded merino. And the top 2 and the bottom bits are all Essence of Autumn. They're merino base, which is $32, and it's a pasture soft BFL, 80% BFL, 20% nylon is her regular sock line. So she has gorgeous colors. Up above we have Justytka from Europe, and we have it in a singles line. Whoop, sorry, bear with me. We have a singles, beautiful soft fingering singles weight, and we also have it in a mohair silk line. And then we just got in these Shirley Bryan sock sets. They're mini sock sets, so you don't have a whole bunch of leftovers from a typical adult size pair of socks. You get 70 grams, 20 gram main and 20 gram main, 50 gram main and 20 gram mini. Oh, I think we're almost done, but that's what's behind Rebecca.
And then for the draw, you're going to take the names from the Instagram and do the draw from the tags on Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that, and whoever wins, I'm going to check that they're actually our blog subscriber. That's how I'll go about it.
I bet Kelly is already. And what's the name of your lovely sweater? I bet you know.
I don't
You
know.
don't know.
I do know. I can never. Oh, Koivu. Koivu. Koivu something something. By
IVU.
Koi. Sorry, it was a year ago, and my brain can barely remember what happens this week.
Let's see. This is
Yeah, that's. Oh no, that's not it. VUEUA. I can put it online.
Is it Caitlin Hunter one?
It's a Caitlin
Yeah,
Hunter.
we
Ha
found
ha ha. Yes, that's what it is. And Rebecca's going to link to that. Okay. Any other questions? How are we doing time wise?
We're like bang on 11.
Awesome. Well, let's say our goodbyes. Rebecca.
Oh, sorry.
I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, email us. We're at baadannas@gmail.com. We see everything. Bingo. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Good one. It is diversity.
I'll put that in the thing.
Diversity. Almost missed that one. Haha. Thank you.